Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for being here this morning.
Let's go, let's go. Oh, let's start this show. King Roman news gonna come right through. Gonna give you that news just like you know he can do. Hot topics in your face, baby. King Roman knows his place, baby. King Roman
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
6:30 a.m. Eastern time, baby. He's gonna come right on time with the news just for you. Celebrity news, politics, and local news just for you. King Roman news. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Let's go, let's go. Hey, let's start this show. King Roman News, coming just for you. King Roman News, coming just for you. 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. King Roman News, King Roman News. Let's go, let's go. Hey, let's start this show. Let's go, let's go. Oh, let's start this show.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Shout out to the crew. It is Monday, November 21. Let's get into the show. Yes, thank y'all for being here this morning. Thank you so much. We are back with another show. Thank you so much for being at our wake and break yesterday with that nice panel. Shout out to DKL, Miss Do, Miss Olivia, the Oracle, and Miss Toby. Thank you all for coming through. I really, really do appreciate that yesterday. That was a wonderful conversation and a great surprise. A shout out to the crew. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I hope you've had a great weekend. I hope this week leading into Thanksgiving or however you celebrate it is going to go amazing as well. I'm looking forward to getting on the road today myself. But I want to shout out and talk to y'all. What up, members? I see y'all in the room. Shout out to my moderators, Joe, Ambrosia. I see y'all. I see y'all. I see y'all. Thank y'all for coming through. And shout out to everybody who joined the membership, within the last month or so. Welcome to the crew. Welcome to the family. It's always a blessing to have new people here. It's always a blessing. We are the dopest subscribers. You guys are always so clever, so smart, so brilliantly thinking forward. And I love coming down here. Everybody, please take a moment to hit that like button for me. Remember, your likes help push me into the algorithm. The minute you hit it, I'm out there pushing. Each like is a push. All likes matter, and your likes matter right now. Now, listen, if you're watching, because see, I can tell in my studio how many people are watching that are subscribed versus those are not subscribed. Please subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you can get notified when I drop the latest video, and hit the Cash App $Roman L. Jackson if you want to show me some love or support. We'll call it our road trip fund. If you want to show me any love or support, you can always feel free to do so there. But without further ado, we need to go ahead and get into this show. I think I got like an hour show for us today. But I want to bring something to the forefront. So without further ado, let's get into it. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, crew. What up? Wonder why I couldn't hear nothing. Damn hoodie. Good morning. What up? What up? What's going on? What is going on? It has been a crazy weekend. It has been a hectic weekend. Myself trying to get my baby ready. I forgot. So good. Another tea with like three different combinations. I got peppermint. green tea, and this time I tried a little mango. Mix it all up, tastes good. But I have to get my dog ready, y'all, because we're going and I'm taking him to daycare. And I called the place in Rochester, and they're like, "Yeah, but the last time you brought him, his records aren't updated." So I had to. Yesterday, I'm calling around. I need to go get him shots, so I got to go get him shots today before we leave. Just trying to get myself ready. But I had an opportunity yesterday to catch some lives, specifically the lives surrounding Shanquella Robinson and the whole Dejanay's transgender. And I am so deeply, deeply disappointed in the fact that the conversation was able to go so far because at the end of the day, she's not a transgender woman. I couldn't even dare arguing someone about how I felt saying she isn't she let's put it in a man terms. He ain't one of us. And I could not only imagine how it would feel to be attacked by just saying simply, all I'm saying is the person who did this, don't put that crime on us. I found it to be so baffling. Now, what I do know is everyone has their own opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, how they felt. And if you didn't get a chance to go check out Spillet Boy TV's live last night, it's a great indicator, an eye opener on all of everyone's opinions, including the chat. Everyone is, I feel this way, I feel that way, I feel this way. Don't call me sis, don't call me nothing. But and everyone has their own opinion. Everyone is entitled to that. And you can't say, I'm gonna call you this and then don't want to be called that. Or you can't advocate for something, but on the reverse, it's the wrong thing. And it goes both ways. So I left there very much so with a good perspective, and I think it was a great live. So shout out to Spill It Boy TV and his live last night. With that, and I know it came so many rebuttals. Everybody was rebuttaling, but at the end of the day, that doesn't even it doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter at all. And what I find funny is a lot of people are like, T.S. Madison didn't even talk about Shanquella Robinson up but for this part. And it's like, yeah, but you got a lot of content creators who didn't even talk about Shanquella Robinson up until this point. You know what I mean? Female and male up until this point. And then the males who are talking about it, they're just giving you chat facts they're reading in the chat. They don't have no wherewithal in the story. So you just got to be very, very eye mindful of who really is involved in this story and who's doing it for clicks and views. Because that person or whomever is doing it can alter the story and go another way for provoking and all those things. And I saw that yesterday. So I just was like, wow, this is crazy. And I don't want to mention or promote anyone of that nature. So shout out to those who know how to take a story like this and redirect it to the way it needs to go. So today we're going to get back on the path of facts, okay? Something that we know that another content creator can't do. So we're going to get on facts and we're going to talk about what happens when Americans go missing in Mexico. And I told you I had these cases yesterday and I wanted to present them to you all because this is where I'm getting the basis of my thought. This is how I know what's going to happen next. I see them. They're as close to as November 27th, 2022. So when I tell you like we already have sort of the course of how this is going to go, we just have to sit here and watch and know where we need to apply pressure. So that's the focus of that. But before I get into that, I definitely want to kick this week off with a quote of the day, and this is for the crew. This is for the crew. I know I'm gonna share it on my community. Well, I know I say that, whatever. But this is something true. This is for me and for all of us, given what's going on and all of that good stuff. So I wanted to share, let go of what you can't control. If you can't change it, it's time to accept it and find a way to live with it instead of being frustrated or upset. Now, I want everyone to take that for themselves and apply it in their lives however they see fit. But for me, looking at this is learning how to live a happy life. There's no reason why sometimes we get boggled down and confused and held down in things that we cannot change, things that don't do any make us any more happier or move us any more forward in our lives. So really, I think it's important that you focus on those things that'll keep you from being frustrated and upset, you know, or figure out what's making you mad and how can you turn that into a positive. A lot of times we just want to be mean and nasty. But no, if you honestly look at this and apply it to your life, I think you'll get what I'm saying. Let go of what you can't control, man. If you can change it, if you can't change it, it's time to accept it. And that doesn't mean that you have to go along to get along, or I'm just going. That means okay, that's something that I can't change. I'm done with it. I'm moving around that. It's time to move on. That's all that's saying. Because you'll be beating a dead horse till the day you die, and we see that all the time. It's like nah, 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 nah. And it's like, okay, you're frustrated and you're upset about what? So I wanted to kick that off today's show. Shout out to the crew. Thank you all for being here this morning. Queen Diva member, thank you for being here first this morning. Good morning, King Roman, who's listening from the Skybox. Shout out to the Skybox. What up, Chantel Packer? Good morning. Thank you for being here. Joe, what up, Joe? Good morning. Yes, please hit that like button on your way in. Replay crew, that's you too. Good morning, Ambrosia. It's good to see you as always. Zaire, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Kings Mina, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Hey Brick Girl, good morning, good morning. I'm on my second monster. Thanks to trying to hang out with y'all young folk on Treasure Lane last night, baby. When I tell you, I was just appalled, and I'm just like, okay, so now where are we going from here? What's the next conversation? What are we talking about here? It went from transgender to black women to name calling to there's gay on gay phobia. It was just like, okay, why does it take this moment to bring all those conversations out though? Like we need to, somebody has to die. I always say that somebody has to die for somebody to talk about something. And it's clear, like someone now we're talking about these. This shit always existed. Black women and trans women have always had these issues, and they're gonna always continue to have these issues. There's not gonna be the same thing happens with gay men and straight men. We have issues too. You know, your dick ain't heavier than mine. You ain't no more of a man than I am. You just happen to be a straight man. We have the same issues. I battle them the same way. So when I flip that and I watch trans women and black women, I understand it's a battle. It is a complete war. But when you weather the storm enough, you know how to deal with it. Like I'm not challenging no straight man to no dumb shit at all. But you know, if you want to get on mental, get on this paper and figure it out, then I'm gonna meet you there where I can meet you at. But if you want to win the battle of you can go procreate and lead a household, okay, do you? I'm not gonna battle you in that. That means me nothing, doesn't do nothing for me. But I'll battle the facts that there's more children in the world who are fatherless. So I'll start going down the facts. And that's what you have to do. If you want to meet somebody in an argument, you got to put facts in front of them. And facts are, I don't want my kids to see this. Well, that's not a fact. That's an opinion. Now, give me the fact of why you don't want that to happen. Basically, break it down. How many children are exposed to this stuff and what's the impact of that? That will make a conversation move. But all that other stuff, you just be like, baby, I hear your frustration and I hear that you're upset, but you need to let go of things that you can't change. And that's all I really wanted to get out of it. I'm sitting back watching like these people are, baby, they're mad, mad, mad. And let's be honest, what trans woman walking around in public up to a straight woman saying, "Hey sis, sis, hey sis, woman," you got to be out your mind. First of all, I've been around 35 years and I haven't seen that level of bravado-ness. Are you kidding? I haven't. I've been to trans bars, and all that kind of stuff. Have trans friends. I've never seen one of them walk up to a black woman, even in meeting. Hey, how you doing? Hey, sis. I've never seen that. So to throw those kind of narratives just so easily, like it's just like, where have you heard that from? Where do you get that from? Now you did have somebody on there yesterday just spewing, but she was trolling, and I got that at the end that it was a troll. But baby, there's so much to learn. I'm riding with you. We're on the highway. Okay, we all about to be on the road today. Good morning, Cash App and Bullshit. It's good to see you. Hey, pretty saucy Leo. Thank you for coming through. Slim Body Benz, what up? It's good to see y'all. Hey, Chocolate Vixen, got my seat in the palace. Okay, you right here. It reminds me when a white person says it was a black man. Don't put that on us, knowing it wasn't true. Exactly. And see, here's the thing, and this is going to be a hard fact. When I say a hard fact, it hurts. Is that women can't get away doing the same thing men can do, and that's just a fact around the world. Men can go cheat and do all that shit, and in a relationship, women will deal with it time and time again. The minute a woman cheats, it becomes a big thing. And I'm not blaming that on nobody, but that's what we see. So when you have a trans woman who's, you know, for lack of better words, in their eyes of a woman, looks at him as a man who's transitioning into a woman, they're already feeling intimidated. There's already this level of where I want my respect still. And then I flip that to trans men and men, it wouldn't even bother me. It wouldn't even concern me. I'm so convicted in my maleness. I'm so convicted in who I am as a person. I'm so convicted of who I attract. And I think that is the other thing is that we're not competing for the same thing. There are specific people who are attracted to trans men, and there are specific people who are attracted to gay men. And I think for women, it sometimes get boggled. Like we're all in the same. You're competing from, and it's like, yeah, you only maybe you see the competition. I because maybe it's a cocky ass statement, but I ain't. I don't. I've been around trans men as well, seen them bad as fuck. Like damn, but I never felt like your presence means that I'm eliminated or I'm diminished. So I was looking at all of that, but that's not the story we're gonna start with today. Okay, we're gonna end on Shanquella. We're gonna get into Colorado, what's going on there. But see, it's been bubbling up in Colorado, and I want to break all that down. I want to give y'all the full story of what's happening with the Colorado shooting. Good morning, T Trisha One. Good morning, good morning. Pull the bus back over. Good morning. Oh, and thank you for the Cash App. I received the Cash App. Thank you so much. Trying to find my phone. My phone, my Cash App ain't on it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Good morning. Hey, Miss Toby. Thank you for coming up yesterday. I appreciate it. You don't know how much that resonate with me. Aw, and it did with me too. That's what's up. Hey, BMW. Good morning, Boo. Tracy. Good morning. Gemini Dreams. Good morning. Blue Rain. Good morning. Thank you for coming back. Yeah, Mother's Live was definitely one for the books. King, were you surprised by the feelings expressed on the lane? You know what? I was surprised, and you know why? One, and I said this morning when I took a shower. I said I was so surprised at the lack of information the people on the panel had when it came to the Shanquella story, but how much vitriol and upward they went for just proving their point in the story. And so it was like, well, you're missing details. First of all, Maddie didn't just wake up one morning and come out here and put out a post. Second of all, Maddie was in y'all know this is Trans Awareness Week, right? So Maddie was in New York getting an award that week. So she was nowhere in her studio or around to make a post about it. Yes, she went live on Instagram to kick it with her folks. She does that. Yeah. I do Wake and Breathe, and I don't want to necessarily do a show. I just want to talk to y'all. And she's not the face for trans women, and she's not the face for black women, and she's not the face for all celebrity news and stories. That's the second thing. So I'm coming from that aspect, and you hear, why every time she come out, it's gotta be, well, first of all, who you be listening to? Who else you be fucking listening to? Why Maddie got to be the only one that just makes it tick? None of these other trans women came out here and said nothing about it. Why we attacking her? That's where I was coming from, because I would have been more calm, but I'm listening to people give their opinions on the panel, and it's like, well, honey, did you even read the story about what happened to Shanquella before you even get to Maddie? I couldn't get past that. You had folks talking about what happened in the whole. Well, why didn't she take kickboxing classes? Well, girl, did you listen to the father interview? The father already told us the girl is a lover and not a fighter. She wouldn't fight with anyone in a day in her life. So you saying, why didn't she? What the fuck are you talking about? And after a while, I just was like, okay. I kept saying to Spiller Boy in the chat, can you please put the names on the screen? Can you please put the name? Please. Then finally, other people started saying it too, and he kind of would put their names on the screen. And I'm like, oh, okay, okay, all right, okay. And it sucks because it's like, if only we had a complete story, and then if only we had everyone giving their opinions related to the story, we would get out of this whole she's a transgender. And I'm just sitting here looking like, wow, now we're on women being called a trans, you look like a trans woman. Why that's offensive? Hell yeah, it's offensive to women. You call me a trans man and it's offensive to me. And you want to know why? Because it's not who I am. It's not who I am. You call me exactly who I am. If I'm defined by this, that's who you call me. I'm a gay man all day, but you're not gonna call me a trans man as a compliment. I'm because I'm gonna tell you I'm a male. That's like you. That's like when growing up, I'm gay, and of course I had sissified ways, and my cousins would say to me, "You act like a girl. You a girl." What I was supposed to say? Oh, thank you. Oh my God, thank you. No, I was mad. Why are you making me feel like something that I'm not? I'm not. I'm this is who I am. So for me, again, it was like, well, yeah, honey, because not everyone's there are some women who will be like, okay, but we have to understand that not everyone is that way. And you cannot force people to accept something. I always say that all the time. How you gonna force somebody to accept what you want? The mere act of forcing them negates the acceptance. Do you get what I'm saying? That's called dictatorship. The mere act of forcing someone to do something negates acceptance because it's already being forced. There's no accepting. And so I'm sitting there listening to y'all, and Roman, I'm just like, oh, okay, this is juicy. I'm back here away, like, what's going on? What's going on? So that was my thought. I think Spiller Boy did a great job of allowing the troll to be a troll because we needed to see that. I think that was we need to see that troll, but then it got to a point where it's like, okay, bitch, be gone. It's time for you to go. But I get a lot of it is I get both sides. I come from a conservative household. My TT is conservative as hell. She still thinks that I'm gonna be straight one day. She calls it a phase. We talk about it all the time. Do I think she hates gays? Do I think she's a phobic? No. Do I think she's old school? There's things she don't understand about it? Yes. And do I think that's what I see? Yes. Until folks start having children who are in the community, we will always have this. It's always the folks who then have a child, like my mom, who then had a child, who then started to understand it. So that's where we are. You meet seeing a lot of people just spewing stuff, and I mean, I'm just sitting there like, at least give me some facts, like put some numbers behind what the hell y'all saying. One girl was like, all women, they just mad, they want to compete for dick. I said, all? That's a huge number. All. Okay. And then, Jay Dunn, hey Jay Dunn, hey boo. I'm Jay Dunn starting to grow on me a lot. My question to Jay Dunn is, Jay Dunn, what would you go up for first? Would you protect yourself as a woman or would you protect yourself as a lesbian first? Because I couldn't understand Jay Dunn's defense of and then attack of certain points in the conversation. I'm like, well, okay, so which is first for you? You being a woman or you being a lesbian? What do you where are you coming from in this story? And so that's what I wanted to know from her. So, but shout out to everybody who did their thing yesterday, giving us the conversation and letting it go. You all did a wonderful job keeping it spewing for us. Zap, what up, Zap? Good morning and happy Thanksgiving week to you. While some biological women have gotten upset with me because I call myself a cis female, I support my trans women sisters. And what does that mean? Does that mean? And then I was listening to Miss O, and shout out to Miss O. She's gonna give her opinion. She feels how she feels, and I respect everybody's opinion. And so I was listening to Miss O, and I think what I got from her was, why would you put someone else's rights or their struggles before your own? And in saying stuff like, I call myself a cis female and I'm a biological woman, but I support my trans women, I don't think that's putting transgender rights before a cis woman's rights. I think that's just showing respect. And I could be wrong. And I could be wrong. I definitely get shit wrong, but I just think that's a sign of, I respect you and I see you. That's not a, oh my God, now we all got to convert. Well, no, not everybody's telling you got to convert now. Not everybody's saying you got to run around calling everybody cis. We're not saying that. But what we're saying is that for a lot of trans women, that's a way of them respecting you and showing respect in this room and in this space that we share. You know I'm I'm a trans woman, and the tonation of me saying I'm a woman, so when I say you're a cis woman, I'm just saying you're created in sex. Now, if that bothers you, I don't mind changing that. I don't mind just calling you a woman. But I want you to know that I respect you enough to show you that I understand. There's an understanding of where things are. And a lot of times people think it is a negative thing, like, and I only put myself in the foot of people. Like, if I was in her shoes, well, how would I feel? It's like, let me break it down. I'm not trying to be rude, but I just want to let you know that this is how it is. And if that's a problem, oh, yeah, it's a problem. Call me a woman. All right, I got you. A woman it is, but I want you to know that I respect you and I know the difference. To me, that's all it is. Good morning, Alicia. There are some women that see cis as taking something away from them, but it's simply a differentiator. Yeah, yeah. I'm secure in my womanhood. I'm with you, Roman. I'm so confident in my woman. I don't see any type of woman as competition. Can't nobody take what. Shit. Be safe. You too, Nalisi. Thank you. Lesbian. I'm Jay Dunn, spokesperson today. Hey. All right, y'all. Let's get into today's show. My friend made me for this. Let me see if it works. All right. So now we're going to get into the Colorado. So what happened at Club Q? And I just got to set the stage for you all. So Club Q is in Colorado. And now Colorado Springs in Colorado specifically, there's a limited amount of spaces where people can go and have this, be celebratory, be their own selves in a diverse group of people, black, white, gay, lesbian, transgender. So Club Q was that spot. It was a home. They always say it's this space. And, it's a small space and it's not a big club. It's literally I'm going to say it and I go to them, but it's a hole in the wall. It's literally a little shabby shab in Colorado. Now, people like rocking out in shabby shabs because it's more intimate. You get a lot of liquor for a cheaper price, and it's a family environment. Most of the times we go weekly. You know each other. It's real mixy. So Club Q had been the home to a lot of people in the community, and they had was hosting a weekly drag show Friday and Saturdays. But on this week, they were doing a special show on Sunday. It was going to be a drag brunch and a drag show on this Sunday. And it was going to be in honor of Transgender Awareness Week with a series of a bunch of events. And it was going to kick off this Sunday. And so now I'm giving you the layout of this now because I want you all to understand it. So now that's one aspect. Club Q is going to host that. Now we got this guy who lives out there. Who his name is Anderson Lee Aldrich. Now the problem I have with Anderson Lee Aldrich is that first of all, no one's put his picture out there or his mugshot. They are not releasing this man's mugshot. Secondly, there's a picture floating around of him and it's the wrong fucking picture. So we're gonna make sure we have the right image. So you have this guy. Here's him with his family. Anderson Lee Aldrich. Oh, little chubby thing. Hey boy, I see you. And in the middle there, you'll see his uncle, his grandfather, great grandfather, in a white button up. Now, the great grandfather is a senator or rep. He's a Republican. He's all for guns. He's all for allegedly storming the Capitol. They just showed a lot of different fundraisers. He supported people who were going to get going to jail and stuff like that. So he's in support of all that stuff. So Anderson Lee Aldrich, he grows up in a home with his mom. Now, he's a quiet kid. He's a secluded kid. He is a computer gaming kind of kid. So you'll find him a lot of times in these online spaces and doing a lot of gaming stuff. Remember, I said that because that's where we're going to start learning. That's where a lot of this hate is being harbored in these online spaces. So on the day in question, well, let's take a step back. Anderson Lee. So this is the guy. That's his mom. Now, back in June of 2021, Anderson Lee had told his mom by phone that he was going to kill her with a bomb and a gun. He told her this in June 2021. So the mother calls the police like, yo, my son said he's going to do this. She's not even home. She's just worried about going home. So she calls. She's like, my son is going to do this. And so they checked all the locations. There was no bomb. And then they finally checked his location and they made the arrest. They arrested him. So, they arrested this guy. but they also let the man go. So they say after his mother reported to police he was threatening to harm her with a homemade bomb and multiple weapons, according to the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, he was arrested after a standoff and charged with 6 felonies, but he was not prosecuted, records show. The El Paso County District Attorney has not commented on why the case was dropped. Uh-oh, crew. I want somebody to be taking account of what were the signs. Can we get somebody to just take count of the signs? This is sign number one. Somebody can take track of our signs for this story. That's sign number one. I want to see how many signs it took for this to happen. So, sign number one, he committed this crime against his mother, was arrested, let go, back home with the family. Back home with the family. Back home with the family. So he's back home with the family. Now, I got to give you background information because I want you all to know what's going on in the community. So there's also this organization called Libs of TikTok. Now, Libs of TikTok is a very much so racist social media account on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. If you go to their pages, I'm going to show you some. They're very racist. The owner happens to be based in where? Colorado. So as all of this is going on, Libs of TikTok starts kicking up dust about Transgender Week and all of the activities going on. So mind you, do I have the post let's see. Mind you, Club Q had posted on their social media that they're going to have a fun day this Sunday. So this is the post that they posted on their leading up to this event. They posted this. We're going to have a fun day. Come through, all ages drag brunch. Now, mind you, all ages drag brunch. So Libs of TikTok, they're doing their thing. Mind you, they have 21.7 thousand subscribed followers on Twitter. And so they're all about, they're not for any of this. So once that goes up, they decide to stay on event. They're tweeting a lot of stuff. Then you have their senator in their city. I think her name is Lauren Boebert. Now, Lauren Boebert, she's their state senator. She's their state rep. She's very vocal in the area. Lauren Boebert also supports Libs of TikTok. Now, y'all ask me, what does this have to do with him shooting the club, Colorado? Well, because Club Q was sponsoring these events during this week, Transgender Week, and just promoting it out there, you had Lauren Berber tweeting stuff like this earlier in the year. Take your children to church, not drag bars. This is Lauren Berber. So Bobert. So this is already in their community. They already have this sort of air about drag shows in particular. Now, hence, I told you, Club Q was getting ready to host their drag show on Sunday, a drag brunch and a drag show for all ages, children included. You can come Sunday Family Fun Day. That shit riled them up. So she did that. Here's some other things. So in June, she was saying that the left is grooming our kids over LGBTQ inclusive flashcards. And so she was really, really upset about that. Now, here's a picture of her family holding their AR-15 assault rifles. You can see her kids, you can see her. So I wanted to give you guys an overview before I continue. So we have Lauren Boebert, who's the state senator, who already professes that drag brunches and all that, it's not for kids. Take your kids to church. You have Libs of TikTok spewing hate on social media. You have Anderson, who's a social media sort of guy. That's where he lives in that space. So then we get the Saturday night Club Q. So we're here. Saturday night, we're here at Club Q. This is sort of the space. Now, I don't know if many of you know about, the community and what goes on at these shows, but I'm going to show you what it looks like inside of Club Q. Okay. I'm going to show you what they do, what it looks like, but I really want you to pay attention to how small it is, how knit the people are, and how it's like a family oriented venue. Okay. So I want y'all to check this one out. Do I have the video? Yes. And shout out to Club Q for the footage. I had to scrounge around. But I want you all, I want you all to see what it looks like inside of Club Q. In DKL, you'll probably get your life. Well, maybe. You be, you shade. What's the timestamp? All right, so this is the part where, at the end of the night, most of the entertainers are wrapping up on the stage to exit. So just get a feel. Jesus. So as you can see, it's a very small knit place. It's a community kind of place. Literally, when you walk in the front door, you're looking at the stage in the place. It's not a big place. So literally, people are used to going here and they're, hey, what up? You go in your section and it's diverse. You see black, you see white, you see all colors. Because there was a narrative going out that this was a white bar. Well, they have white nights, if for lack of better words. They have black nights. This is their only point. I'll tell you right here locally where I'm at. We got one bar that's probably popping that have multiple different nights. But on one night, everybody come together. And that's the same thing here. So I wanted to dispel that rumor that while we're going up for Club Q, some of the people, the victims and stuff, were mostly white. No, not the case. Not the case at all. They just so happened to be transgender week, where the club was filled with mostly and more of transgender drag queens, more of those in our community. So this wasn't a kind of all white club. No, this was the night to go out. We celebrating the night. It's the only spot to go, and they doing a set tomorrow. We got to be in there. That's what this was. I want to give you the vibe. I want you to feel how exciting it is to go. So, all right, now we showed you on the inside. So I'm gonna give you the story before I show the news clip. So Anderson clearly, apparently, and allegedly has staked out this place after being tipped off allegedly by libs of TikTok sharing their events for the week. Allegedly. This is all allegedly. So, people are going, they're entering in, and clubs don't get packed until around 11:30, 12, going on midnight. That line starts swelling up because most people getting ready around 10. Then you go out. So 12 o'clock is when all shit hits the fans. So the police received their first call at 12:02, and they were on the scene around like 12:05 minutes later. And they had heard that there was an active shooter in the area. They didn't know necessarily if it was the club or where, but they got calls coming from everywhere. So then they arrived on scene. Now, Anderson enters like he's a regular patron, walks in, pays his little fee. He has his arm vest on, and he has a gun. He has an AR rifle, and he has a handgun. They found two guns at the scene. He walks in, and instantly, this was no, here's your ticket, go there, go to the bar. This was a go. I don't know if there was two doors or one. Go in the door, and instantly started firing rounds, AR-15 on that rifle, just rounding off. And he was shooting everything in sight. Now, mind you, he was only shooting for literally like 15 fucking seconds. Somebody tell me what the fuck is wrong. We got an AR-15 rifle out here in people's hands. 15 seconds, ended up 5 people dead and 25 people injured. Now, instantly, 2 unarmed people standing right there managed to get this man and get him to the ground and get the guns off of him before the police even arrived on scene. How brave of y'all. Go up for y'all. Go up for y'all. How brave of y'all. It had to be traumatic. And so he's subdued. He's on the ground. Police arrive. They make arrests. They make an arrest. They arrest the guy. I kept hearing people why they didn't shoot him. We're not gonna make this another situation about, every time a shooter's on the scene, why they aren't attacked or why they haven't been shot. We can't. It's gotta. We can't do that. This was not that kind of situation. He was already taken on the ground. If they would have came in there starting shooting him or shooting anyone, do you know what that does to the scene? When that man goes to court, he can instantly say, "Well, the police came in shooting too. I don't know if some of those bullets were from me or them." You have no case. We gotta kind of think here. We gotta kind of like take one step back and say, okay, now he was arrested. Now he's arrested. He's going to be charged on a couple of things: attempted murder, criminal possession, reckless endangerment. He's going to be charged. But that doesn't dispel what happened here. So shortly after this shooting happened, he's arrested. What do you think Libs of TikTok goes and do? Libs of TikTok goes straight to their social media to blast the next day's event. So now that we got the Saturday shooting at the Club Q, they go to their TikTok to say, okay, the next day's event is here. And so people have been calling them out like, you're doing nothing but spewing hate. So somebody got under Libs of TikTok post and they posted this: no death has ever been more deserved. But because of Elon Musk and his Twitter, they've been reinstated to come back on here. They've been kicked off before, but they've been reinstated, and now they're drumming this shit back up. Now, remember the lady I was telling you about, Lauren Tolbert, or the Tolbert woman? Well, remember how she was saying guns, AR-15s and all that good stuff? Here's her tweet now. The news out of Colorado Springs is absolutely awful. This morning, the victims and their families are in my prayers. This lawless violence needs to end and end quickly. This is the same woman who's holding AR-15s with her kids in a picture. This is the same woman who said, take your children to church, not drag bars. How convincing are you? Let's be for real. So Club Q came out with a statement. They're devastated by the senseless attack. Their prayers and thoughts are with their victims and their families and friends. They thank the quick reactions of heroic customers that subdued the gunman and ended this hate attack. And so all last night, you had AR-15 trending. Now, I'm going to talk to you why it's trending. It's trending for a reason. Please, if you haven't hit the like button, please hit that like. Please hit that like. Please hit that like button for me, please. Now I want you all to listen to this witness as he talks about what happened at Club Q. Let's get a 360 on this.
I was on the dance floor and I heard 4 to 5 shots ring out. Y'all thought it was the music, because sometimes that happens. The shot was behind a kind of like, not bulletproof, but soundproof glass windows. Another set of shots went off, and these were closer. So when I knew what was going on, I ran to the dressing room, and a customer followed me, and we got down on the ground. I told them to cut off all the lights, we locked doors, and we called the police immediately. We heard it, more shots, people crying, people, glass breaking, windows being shattered. Like it was bad. For so long, no one knew we were in there when we came out. Bodies laying on the ground, shattered glass everywhere, broken blood. Oh, God.
So sad. That is so sad. Listening to this man talk about what happened at this club. Now, police are trying their hardest, you all, not to classify this as a hate crime, a hate attack. The first thing they're going to do is take this man to get a mental evaluation so that he can stand trial. First thing they're going to do, some of the first things, so they can see whether he's fit to stand trial. They're also going to see if this was an isolated incident or was this a hate attack. Clearly, this was a hate attack. When you gather all the evidence, the reason that it was a specific night, a specific week, you can clearly tell there was a motive. Secondly, this guy has a history of dealing with bombs and having this outrageous behavior. So it'll be interesting to see how this one play out. Now, remember I told you the AR-15 was trending? Well, here's another thing. Now, this just happened this weekend as well. And these are all AR-15 incidents. These are all people dying from AR-15s. Now, we have here in Buffalo, New York. Now, Buffalo is like 30 minutes from Rochester, New York, my neighboring city. In Buffalo, New York, you have this security guard stopping this gunman from basically firing off this AR-15 in this building. And so nobody wanted to apprehend this man. First, he, for some reason, he got into an argument with this woman outside, shot her in the leg, shot the woman in the leg outside with the AR-15, comes through the door, and then decides to want to shoot at the people. So y'all check this shit out. And I'm bringing this up for a point because as you see, and if you go on Twitter or anything else and you type in AR-15, all of these incidents are starting to come up. This man was on drugs. This man was shooting people outside of a methadone clinic. A methadone clinic. And the police are saying it's definitely not racist in motive. He was looking for money. He was definitely on a high binge. Well, what the fuck does a person with a high binge, how do they have an AR-15 rifle? How does Anderson Lee Aldrich have a rifle when he had a bomb a year before trying to kill his mom? Fuck that shit. His mother. So y'all get into this shit. I'm telling you, the world is moving backwards slowly backwards.
In other news tonight, the heroic actions of a security guard at a methadone clinic here in the Queen City. Over the weekend, Buffalo police releasing this dramatic security camera footage. You might have seen this. It shows a man armed with an assault rifle firing shots inside that clinic. This is on Virginia Street, along with efforts to subdue the suspect. And tonight, our Jocelyn Person spoke with that security guard who takes us through what happened.
Doors have now reopened at the Hispanics United of Buffalo after a violent confrontation with a gunman who police say was armed with an AR-15. But security guard Renato Beckford sprang into action.
And when I turned from the corner of my eyes, all I saw was the person and the rifle. That's all I saw. And at that moment, I took a good look at the person and I couldn't believe what was happening.
Renato tells me he's been in the security industry for more than 20 years. And when he had a close encounter with this gunman, he was in survival mode.
I had him and I had the rifle. I was just saying, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And that's when he turned back and he had stopped fighting for a while. And that's when the other security guard was coming down the stairs.
Ronaldo says the gunman wouldn't take his finger off the trigger, so everyone had to put up a fight. In this video, you see where they were able to tackle the suspect and take his gun.
I would be lying to you if I was to say to you that I was not scared for my life.
So what are we saying here? What are we really saying here? Now the conversation shifts from, it really being about these attacks to how are people carrying out all of these attacks in America. So AR-15 rifle is trending. If you are on Twitter, I say share tweet because stuff like this will continue to happen. And you will only be affected or feel compelled to do something when somebody in your life or somebody is killed or assaulted by an AR-15. There's no reason why Donald Trump was able to remove mental health checks from issuing permits to people who wanted to buy a fucking AR-15. He removed that. Remember the package deal that the Dems wanted to close, but he wouldn't close unless that's removed out? Well, now we're seeing the effects of that. You got this man who, Anderson legally got a gun. He was able to purchase and obtain a gun legally, given the fact that he almost tried to kill his mom. This man from a methadone clinic full of Hispanics, how you get a gun? So, eyes and ears to the ground. Rest in peace to the victims in the Colorado shooting. We're going to hear more details of this story leak out. I've been seeing a lot of the victims and their families come out on social media. It's definitely a sad case. And shout out to Reynaldo Becker, who apprehended the guy with the AR-15. But this is what's going on in our world. And I wanted to share some of the bigger picture of that story. Y'all hanging in here with me? Y'all hanging in here? Thank y'all for being here. I appreciate it. We get into the second half of the show. Okay. Hey, Rico. Good morning, Rico. Shout out to Rico. If y'all have not subscribed to Rico's new channel alert, I will repost that on my community wall. Y'all make sure y'all get over there. We trying to get Rico all the way up, 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 up. I'm 43, but I'm so over all these pronouns and I identify as this and that. Back 10, 15 years ago, I don't remember all these titles. Yes, it's a lot of pronouns and I get confused. That in some jobs, they require you to put your pronouns underneath your title. He, him, they, them. It's a requirement. Lawsuits. He should have been in jail. Baby. Sign one. Okay, so sign one, committed a crime against mother. Sign two was the Libs of TikTok promoting this. And then when you go under there, you'll see nothing but people. Where's the event at? What's going on? Who's going? It's corralling people to show up. That was the sign too that something was going to happen here at this event. This event. And then sign three was you already have a state senator who's already eyeing these events and telling you, promoting and bringing attention. And this is why when we say stuff like our community is under attack or stuff like that, we're not saying it black on black specifically all the time. It's everywhere, every angle, all the time. So these incidents prove a lot of what the things we say are true. When you put misnomers on the trans community, well, you got people who want to come out here and assault the trans community. That's why it's okay for someone to come out here and say, no, it wasn't us. No, don't put that on us. It was them. Because you have situations like this where motherfuckers will want to kill you. They will want to come cause harm to you, do damage to you, So we have to see that picture too. Miles, good morning, Miles. What up, Miles? Happy Thanksgiving week to you. Lauren, she's a whole nut. I don't understand how these people get elected into office. More kids get touched at a church than bar and drag shows. Come on now, speak on it. How many kids you see at a drag show? Let's be for real. Yeah. Who you telling? I do too. I do. I'm just waiting for the alternative to pop his little head up. She played a major role in inciting violence. Thank you, Gemini. That's exactly what is the case in this situation too. Y'all seen that white security guard run back behind that door? Baby, I don't know if I could have did the same thing he did. I saw it this morning. I said, you are a brave man. Scary as fuck, Rico. Scary as fuck, Ivy Pro. Good morning, everyone listening and working. Have a great day, each and every last one of you. You too. And thank you for being here. First, bam. All right, y'all. We are about to get into Shaquandra. Shanquella. I always get it wrong. I got Shanquellas in my family friend. Shanquella Robinson. We're about to get into Shanquella Robinson, but before I do, please hit that like button for me. Please hit that like button. Please hit. All right, now, as promised, yesterday I told you all that there's been a lot of different situations popping up in Mexico as of lately, showing that there's a lot of Americans who have died in Mexico at the hands of another American, and that American has fled back to United States and nothing has happened. And so I said, why don't we talk about that? Why don't we walk through some of this? And I'm going to guarantee you that by the end of these examples, and it won't be long, and I got clips, and it's gonna be real fun and interesting. You're going to understand why King Roman has come out here always saying we cannot put pressure on the FBI. It has to be on Mexico because the FBI in each of these cases deferred to what Mexico said was the case in each of these cases. Some are still pending to this day. And you'll understand why I'm like, this is just one of many. Shanquella. We're gonna keep saying her name, but we need to understand what we're working up against. We need to educate our own people. So I'm gonna do that. We're gonna take time. I'm gonna take some time out. I'm gonna break it down for you. Okay. All right. So now, before I do that, Shanquella Robinson was laid to rest as the investigation surrounding her death in Cabo continues. So if you didn't know, Saturday was her funeral. It was widely attended by a lot of people in the community. A lot of people, I even heard rumblings that she's going to probably get a day of Remembrance Day in the city. A lot of people showed their presence on social media. And so it was a great day for everybody to come together and sort of celebrate her life as the individual she was. And everybody donned her a queen, queen in the city. And so I definitely want to send my condolences to her and her family before I begin any of this. Now, what they're saying is that her death is now being investigated as an isolated criminal matter after the conflicting circumstances surrounding her passing. And what an isolated criminal matter means is that it's going to be looked at it totally in isolation of what everything else has been coming in. So no, they're not going to deem it this, or no, they're not going to deem it that, or no, this evidence is they're going to completely look at this as an isolated situation, and there's no, you know, friends and they're gonna start from beginning and look at this. I'm like, well, okay. Well, so I started, getting alerts because I had Shanquella Robinson name on my alerts for Google. And the first alert that I kind of got was this Hollywood producer. So there's a Hollywood producer. His name is Bruce Redman. Okay. And back in 2010, him and his wife were going to Cancun to celebrate their 42nd birthday, his 42nd birthday, with their two kids. And so the first day they arrived, they showed up on scene. Nobody thought nothing of it. They showed up at this resort and they had kids with them. That was the other thing. They had children with them. And so here's the story. Ex-Hollywood producer released from Mexican prison wins partial end of mother's guardianship of children. So this guy right here, and that's the wife, and they had another kid at the time. They went on a trip out to Cancun, celebrate an anniversary. And now rumblings have been going on in the marriage that they have been having arguments, fights, and stuff like that. And so this day in particular, in April of 2010, she was, I guess they had an argument in the hotel room. And so she apparently had been in the shower. Well, he attacked, killed her, put her in the sewer in Mexico, and fled back to the States with the kids. And so the hotel didn't realize anything. He just filed a missing report and left. Does this sound similar, you all? Found a missing report in Mexico and left. Mexico took the report. Then they find the body. Then they do an autopsy report. The woman had been strangled. And then after the man flees 2 weeks later, the 2 weeks later, they decide to do a investigation on the room. They find minimal blood splatter, but there was blood splatter. So then they open an investigation up into what other than what, y'all? Femicide. And I told y'all, femicide is not what we want them to do in Mexico. In Mexico, femicide is literally if I was a man getting into an argument with a woman and we got into a fight and she died because of the fight, that's femicide. Because it was at the hands of a quarrel, an argument, a back and forth with a female versus a homicide where you're killing someone and you can get life in prison. You only get 12 years for femicide. So they charge this man, the court indicts him. They follow the process. They tell United States, the United States extradites this man back over. And when he comes back over here, they give him 12 years in jail. Guess what, y'all? He only had to serve half that time and pay a $2,000 fine. Because in Mexico, if you are good in jail during your time, they cut the sentence because their jails are overcrowded. Now we're starting to get the understanding of how they play politics here. So, as you can see, he was charged in 2012, sentenced to 12 years in prison after facing a maximum sentence of 50 years. He was released to 2 months ago, having served just over 7 years and paying $2,000 in restitution after being credited for good behavior. Under Mexican law, prisoners can be eligible for release after serving 60% of a sentence. So he gets out, he comes back to the States. Do you think the United States will arrest him for murdering the American citizen in Mexican soil? Fuck no. What do you think they did? They asked the man, well, do you want the rest of the other half of the guardianship? Since your wife is no longer here, would you like to have that other half of guardianship? Guess what he says? No, my mother can keep him. And he's going about living his life. That's what happens in example number one of an American citizen murdering another American citizen, his wife, in another country, trying to cover it up. They didn't find out and arrest him and have him extradited until 6 months later, you all. 6 months later. 6 months later. That's why I kept saying, no, it's about 2 to 6 months because I have read these stories. 6 months later. He served 7 years out of 12, which the maximum could have been 50, but they only gave him 12. Because again, the countries think America's judicial system is far less harsher. So get rid of them, send them back there. They'll do something. America ain't doing shit. So now her family is sort of upset because the kids are with his family. So that's one example I wanted to share with you all on this one. Um, and I forgot to kind of touch this, but this is my point. When Americans go missing in Mexico, U.S. officials have to tell loved ones to go to Mexico because we can't do nothing to help you. This is from the New York Times. Each year, you all, millions of Americans visit Mexico without incident. Still, 324 American citizens have vanished since 2006 and had not been found. The Mexican federal government official tally of the missing. That compares to more than 70,000 missing Mexicans. So they have 70,000 missing Mexicans, and we have 326 missing Americans in Mexico. Who do you think they're caring about more? Let's be real. Um, People can be shocked to find out that the American law enforcement system doesn't exist in Mexico. It just doesn't. Law enforcement officials in the United States say it can be frustrating for family members when they realize U.S. police have no jurisdiction in Mexico and have to rely on their Mexican counterparts to investigate cases of missing Americans. So again, when I be hearing folks say the FBI got to do something, they need to be arrested. Do you hear how it kind of makes me just be like, oh, you sound so, oh my God, you don't sound like you've read the facts and know what you're talking about. I want you all to know where the pressure needs to be applied. It's FBI can only do so much. That's why we're doing this. So y'all, I'm walking y'all through cases so you can see FBI ain't do shit. So we finna move on to story number 2. So this guy, he's a firefighter out of Arlington. Okay, now this one is going to be the craziest one, and this one I got a video for. Now, this is some crazy fucking shit that happened in Mexico with this one. So him and his wife traveled to Cancun, Mexico in 2021 to celebrate their 10th wedding anniversary. This happened on July 18th, 2021. Now, his wife, this is the first day. This is the first fucking day. So him and his wife, they flew in and decided to just go straight from the airport to the hotel and straight to drinking. So they went straight to the casino. They went straight to drinking out there, right? The wife said she had got drunk enough, so she went back to the hotel room. The husband stayed on the floor. Now, he had left his phone and his keys in the room or somewhere. So he had stayed down there. Now, mind you, she wakes up the next day and she's like, I can't find my husband. Where is he at? Where's my husband? Where is he at? I don't know where my husband's at. So she's walking around. She still has nothing. So they call the police. The police tell her to come down. When she gets to the police station, you know what they tell her? Your husband's dead, ma'am, under suspicious circumstances. And if you want to see we can't let you see the body, but if you want to see a picture of the body, it'll cost you $100, ma'am. Oh, this is what's going on in Mexico. This is what's going on in Mexico. They told her, here is it. They told her that if she had to give $300 in cash to officers for witness statements and crime scene photos because surveillance footage did not exist. This happened in 2021 last year. Many of the numerous security cameras located around the resort were not working, the suit added. And so she said that when she returned to the U.S., she had got no information and only limited information from the police in the hotel in response to her repeated requests. They wasn't telling her nothing. She got back to the U.S. They gave her a half-ass autopsy report. They were in the medical examiner room, like having funeral directors come in. Hey, we can do it for you for this much. It's all about a coin. She was down there to witness this shit, and so she couldn't see the body or anything like that. So she get back to the U.S. The U.S. don't do shit. They tell her, we got to rely on them and their stuff. So you know what she does? And this is what I want Shanquella Robinson family to notice. She decides to file a lawsuit against the hotel and the travel agency for wrongful death and negligence for $1 million. And she's going on to say that the hotel did not let her know that the travel agency and hotel for failing to warn the Snows of the dangers of Cancun, and by over serving beverages and failing to maintain secure areas of the hotel from outsiders, as well as failing to notify police in a timely manner. Now, when you look at that and you look at Shanquella's, they said she was drunk. Um, there was no surveillance footage. Um, no one properly notified authorities in the right time. Cards were used. They didn't maintain secure areas of the hotel at all times, clearly. So when I looked at this case, it's interesting. Now, she has no resolve to this day. No one's been arrested. Mexico has let this go. It's not in their news. It's over with. It was last year. The only reason it came up now was in this article about Mexicans in America, Americans in Mexico being killed. That's another example. That's two. And nothing's happened here. The first one, the guy was let off and he's back in US chilling. The second one, nobody knows. She came back from her wedding anniversary husbandless. This is what goes on in Mexico when you kill someone in Mexico and come back here. Not saying she did it, but this is what happens to American citizens who die there and come back. Now, this last one I want to share with you is this guy named Taylor Allen. Now, Taylor Allen had been dating this girl, and the girl wanted to go spend time with her family for Thanksgiving. Now, they're American citizens, and he's like, no, let's go to Mexico. So on November 27th, they went to Mexico. Now, they got into some argument, alcohol and drugs were involved, and he decides to say he was going to jump off the roof. And she argues with him not to. And instead of doing that, he batters this woman and beats her and kills her in the hotel. Now, in this instance, Mexican police authorities, they get him. They come to the room, they see it, they arrest him right then and there. They put his image out, all that good stuff. Now, what do you think has happened as of today? What do you think has happened as of today? This man has been sitting in jail, awaiting charges to be filed, awaiting a sentence, and they're not doing anything because they don't have enough evidence to charge him, because they feel like the American extradition attorneys will come over here and fight for his defense. So this man has just been sitting in a prison awaiting, just waiting. Let me play this video for you all. And this is evidence I want you all to see. Now, this is the firefighter video, the one I just told you about.
And the family of an Arlington firefighter who died in Mexico made it back safely to North Texas today. Firefighter Honor Guard, in fact, was at DFW Airport for their arrival, as our Jason Allen now reports.
Arlington firefighters lined up at DFW Airport Friday in a show of support for the family of Elijah Snow. His wife, Jamie, and close friends and family members were crying and sharing hugs 4 days after Elijah was found dead in Cancun on a trip that had started as an anniversary celebration. The Attorney General in Quintana Roo, Mexico, posted on Twitter that the office had opened an investigation into Snow's death and that he'd been found in a bathroom window at a hotel where he was not staying. That same prosecutor told CBS 11 Friday it had not turned up evidence Snow was kidnapped. Information obtained by the family in Mexico, including photos, they said suggest he had been trying to escape from wherever he was found and had also been beaten. A former federal investigator with experience working criminal matters in Mexico told me Friday publicity around the case may help the family get the true details of what actually happened. But arrests and prosecution are unlikely, the investigator told me, and a safe return with his remains may be the best case scenario. The American Airlines flight received a water cannon salute from fire trucks as it arrived back here at DFW.
That's another clear example. It's unlikely there's going to be any arrest or prosecution. So now let's get into this last one. So this guy, girlfriend, they're over. He jumps himself off the building. And the parents in this situation here, they were in constant contact with the daughter via text message. And then she just stopped texting them. So they arrest this guy. Now here, they charge for all of these cases. They charge you for femicide when it's violence against a woman. So they're charging this man with femicide, and the family is like, that's not enough justice for us. It shouldn't be femicide. Here's what the U.S. State Department had to say. We can confirm the death of a U.S. citizen in Mexico. We offer our sincerest condolences to the family of their loss. The same thing they offer Shanquella. And you want to know what's happening in that case? That man is just sitting over there in jail right now. Nothing happening to him. So this is bigger, than just saying we want justice for Shanquella. This is more of an international issue. Now, just this weekend, Mexico had dead bodies laying up on a beach as tourists lounge in the fucking beach. Do y'all see this? Just you see people just actively just chilling. Whole dead body there. They acting like it ain't nothing right there. This is what we're dealing with when we say crime in Mexico. Remember I told y'all they line dead bodies up outside? Yes, this is what they do. And I'm not doing this to desensitize you to what's going on with Shanquella, but I want us to redivert our attention to the fact that we have somebody where we know that there's evidence of foul play, but it has to be in the right folks' hands. Pressure needs to be put in Mexico, like the FBI agent said. And I've been saying this the whole time. We got to put pressure on the folks in Mexico because the FBI folks are not going to preempt law or preempt their own policies or preempt the State Department. They're going to stay right there and walk a fine line. More evidence is coming out. More evidence is coming out. Charges are coming out. Video is coming out. And it's like, we're going to get even more evidence. But none of that is going to... Do you see these cases? Years and years. One was from 2002. So I wanted to show that. So when I'm speaking about this in more of a political standpoint, y'all get what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be sensitive to what happened in Shanquella, but I want us to just understand that the only way we're going to get justice here is if Mexico feels the pressure. If Mexico sees the trend and the pattern that we see here too. So, yeah. And rest in peace. Rest in peace to Shanquella. This is such a sad situation. I wanted to wrap my coverage up by saying, in a full, because I'm gonna cover it in bits and pieces on the show, but I wanted to wrap my coverage up on Shanquella with what the likely outcome of this is going to be and what we need to do to keep it moving forward. And clearly we see the likely outcome of this is going to be a long waiting period. And we just got to keep the story moving forward in specific times. There needs to be a press release done. I can't say it enough. I don't understand why we haven't got facts put out here yet. And you all need to keep it going too, so we don't let it get swept under the rug like these other stories that we just see. A whole firefighter missing in Mexico. You would never believe it, but it's true. You can do that shit and get away with it there. Or street, well, I'm all for some street justice. I truly feel like it's gonna be the inevitable at this point. The way those people came together for her funeral, I just felt like, yeah, people are gonna, if y'all are moving around that city, y'all are a fool. Y'all are a fool as hell. Thank you, Rico. Thank you, Rico. Shout out to Rico. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all know I'm like about to hop on the road. I'm like, I'm like, let me just go ahead and say it. Dead body on the beach. Dead body on the beach, girl. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. You know what I meant, girl. Boo, babe. Hey, Blackberry. Good morning. Shay, I miss seeing you. Good morning, Shay. Cancun and the state of Quintana Roo was considered relatively safe. I guess not anymore. No. Wow. Yeah, y'all. So if anybody got any questions about those, but that's what I wanted to share you all. I wanted you all give you all light on that. And I didn't want to divert my conversation onto whether this was because and when you look in the larger picture, they want us to divert attention to that. So it takes pressure off of Mexico doing what they need to do. And if I was Maddie, if you ever listen or if anybody around listen or Tapper, I would not respond anymore. You've said what you said. And that's it. Now, people who know you, believe you, women, men, straight, gay, bi, trans, they'll roll with you. And everybody else who don't, they will fall off exactly into the place they need to be. Everyone aligns exactly to where they need to align. And this is a moment for you to just realign your folks. Okay, you realign, y'all. But I would not be defending myself coming out here constantly feeling like I'm attacked. I'm not one big on making too many statements. I believe in one concise, clear statement, and then do my show. Then go do your show, and if questions pop up in your chat or something, you answer them case by case. But all this making lives, and that's for us. That's for us to do. Speculate and all that good stuff. For you as the person that's in it, I wouldn't say that you're doing more harm talking. Not that you know that you think you are, not that you are intentionally doing it, but you're doing more harm talking than you are resolving the situation because people are getting more mad and upset. Let it go. Let your trans community, let the trans women come to your defense and help put some of this to bed. I truly don't think you need to say anything else. Let your accomplishments speak for themselves sometimes. You got to be like, okay, I'm all this and why I do all of that, Um but shout out to Maddie. It's a tough position to be in. I couldn't imagine, being convicted in how I feel and then just being attacked because it's like you're almost, well, what does that mean? Well, it means what the fuck I said it means. I'm not saying you the black woman right there or you the white woman right there. I'm saying it's not us. It's a woman. Maybe she should have said it's a woman. It's a cisgendered woman. Maybe she should have said that. It's not us. It's a cisgender woman who did this, who actually committed this crime. Maybe that would have went over smoother. But at the end of the day, you can't you can't force somebody to say something that doesn't represent them. And that's how I feel. And it's weird because I saw I had lost some subscribers after my live with Miss O stating my opinion. And it's the fact. I want everybody to feel comfortable stating their opinion. That's how I feel. It is what it is. And somebody gonna drop down in Spill It Boys chat while I was in there saying, King Roman, you're a transphobe. You've made some transphobic comments before. And the only thing I could go to is when I said that sports, I definitely see a separate league. And if you think that's transphobic, then I'm so sorry, but I'm not changing how I feel about that. Either it's going to be an equal criteria or it's going to be a separate league. That's not to make somebody stand out. If there was a something for gay men and I felt like gay men wasn't, couldn't compete with straight men, then I would absolutely say we need a separate. You see it all the time. We need a separate league. We need our own thing. We need to do our own way. I would go up for that, then walk away from it because it's almost like you're saying you're not enough. But folks are saying you are enough. Actually, you are enough. So, but if you thought that was transphobe, sorry, sweetie, I ain't transphobe. I ain't no phobe. I'm not. I don't fear anyone. I'm not scared of anyone or anything except for snakes and alligators. Anything that slithers on the ground bothers me. Slugs, worms. Oh my god. But I don't fear anything. I think with a conversation we can get over this, but it's too much angst in it. Mexico ain't got to worry about me visiting. Okay, listen, this is what they want. They don't want the right stories to get out. Hey, Mrs. G, good morning. All right, news crew. I'm about to get out here, get my day started, get on this road. Listen, I'm gonna be reporting live Wednesday, all hot topics. We're gonna show Shanquilla just for that show, so we can cover some other stuff. I want to get into some other topics. Um, and I'll be back. I might go live a little bit more this week since I'll be home with my TT with not too much to do. So y'all might see my face a little bit more this week talking about random stuff. But when you're tired of being attacked and accused, you tend to be direct. We understood exactly what Maddie meant. Quit blaming crap on us. It wasn't a biological woman, not a trans woman. Exactly. You get it. You get it. I had a snake outside my door. A snake. So Zach, you live where they have them small snakes? Because if you're talking about a big snake, baby. Oh shit. Thank you, Teacher Shawam. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Brick Girl. I appreciate it. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button on y'all way out. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. It was a great conversation. Rest in peace to the victims of the Colorado shooting. They say it's going to be more victims to come. Lord Jesus, rest in peace to them. Shout out to Ronaldo Beckford for holding it down and getting that man out that methadone clinic. And, justice for Shanquilla. Given the circumstances, all we can hope for is justice for Shanquilla. And you have a great day too, Shay. All right, y'all. Let me get up out of here and start my day. Y'all have a great day. And remember, let that shit go. Let go of what you can't control. If you can't change it, it's time to accept it and find a way to live with it instead of being frustrated or upset. That's what I do. If it's a bitch in my way I don't like, I be like, okay, I see you. Let me move around you. If it's a task I need to get done and it's too complex and it's hard, I put a date on it. I always do that. I'm like, I'm gonna put a date on you. You know, if it's some work that I need to do, even my YouTube channel, if I know I need to do a live or something, I'll put a date on it. I'll be like, Tuesday, you need to be completed by. In my mind, I need to get that done by Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? You can't change that. You got to get it done. So why not just, okay, let me just knock this shit out. You know, put a date on it. That's something my old manager told me, you know, complex shit, put a date on it and work backwards. But handle your business. All right, y'all. Let me get out. I'm rambling now. I'm rambling. Thanks for another informative and well-researched newscast. Thank you, Chocolate Vixen. That makes my heart feel good. All right, y'all. We about to get out of here. And until next time, crew. Until next time. Deuces. Deuces, deuces, deuces. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for being here this morning.
Let's go. Oh, let's start this show. King Roman News gonna come right through. Gonna give you that news just like you know he can do. Hot topics in your face, baby. King Roman knows his place, baby. King Roman News.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
6:30 a.m. Eastern time, baby. He's gonna come right on time with the news just for you. Celebrity news, politics, and local news just for you. King Roman News. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Let's go. Hey, let's start this show. King Roman News, coming just for you. King Roman News, coming just for you. 6:30 a.m. Eastern time, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. King Roman News, King Roman News. Let's go. Let's start this show.